Jane, are we ready in the front? Colleagues? Okay, let's do this. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, October 4th, 2023, and we'd like to welcome everyone to the board meeting. We'll call this meeting to order at 9 a.m. You can join today's board meeting via phone. Dial 971-254-3149, conference ID 736-023-979#. Audio capabilities are listen only and offered on a best effort for the public. Our meeting is also live streamed, and you can join us by going to tctvonline.com and click on live broadcasts. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute their phone. You can do this by pressing *6. Please unmute your phone when your agenda item is ready to be discussed. For those joining via computer, please unmute your microphone and turn on your camera when your agenda item is called. All others must remain muted with their cameras turned off. Thank you. Public comment. Those intending to provide public comment to the board may attend in person or email submissions to public comments at co.tillamook.or.us. Public comments received by 12 p.m. on Tuesday will be distributed to the board, posted online before the meeting, and become part of the public record. You may also provide public comment virtually by registering ahead of time. To register, please email public comments at co.tillamook.or.us by 12 p.m. on the Tuesday prior to the board meeting. Public comments can also be mailed to the Board of Commissioners office, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon 97141. For more information on public comment options, please visit the Board of Commissioners webpage. Do we have anyone signed up in the room, or has anyone registered online for public comment?
No.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful. Well, we welcome our guests in the room today and invite them to sign the guest list if they've not done so on the shelf to the right in the back. With that, we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Bell, will you lead us today?
Well, thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So we do have a couple of non-agenda items this morning. The first is to let everyone know that agenda item number 5 has been postponed. And the second is we have a special thank you to the Creamery from the commissioners, and I believe that Commissioner Yamamoto is going to talk a bit about that for us.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, we have so many supporters and great partners in this county. One at the top of the list has to be the Tillamook County Creamery Association. So this is through AOC, the Association of Oregon Counties. We are a member of a district. We are a member of District 7. District 7 includes Lincoln County, Tillamook County, Clatsop County, and Columbia counties. And we do meet on an annual basis. And this was, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? And so the hosting of the annual meeting for District 7 goes to different counties every year. This year was our year to host as Tillamook County. And we must have brought in, at one point, I think there were like 35 people in the room. That's when ODF came in at the end of the meeting and presented on the Firewise issue. But we probably had 25 or so commissioners and staff from across our region. And we always look for a novel place to host, a great place to host. And the Creamery, as they always do whenever we have an ask of them, just stepped right up. So we were able to host our District 7 meeting in the Red Barn on the Creamery property. And they went just above and beyond. They really did. They provided all the beverages and the snacks, the charcuterie trays, lunch, dessert. We had Tillamook ice cream for dessert. And we got to choose lunch. Well, I think I chose the lunch.
I think you chose the lunch, but you did well.
It's
okay.
But it was the world famous Tillamook cheddar grilled cheese and tomato soup. And with the salad, it was just the entire event was done so well. We appreciate the Creamery. Paul Schneider is one that I always go to, and We've got a great working relationship with the Creamery. Brittany Simmons also is an executive assistant, and she worked with Isabel Gilda in our office to put this all together. So there was a lot going on behind the scenes, but this is just a thank you to the Tillamook County Creamery Association and all you do for Tillamook County. Whenever we have an ask, we aren't bashful, and the Creamery always steps up. They really do. But again, we have so many different partners within the county that we couldn't do without. So this is just a thank you to Paul Schneider and Brittany Simmons and the Tillamook County Creamery Association for hosting our event this year, and it's so greatly appreciated.
Truly.
So with that, I'll turn it over to the other commissioners if you'd like to make a comment.
Well, you covered it well, Commissioner. It was a terrific event, and I was proud to be able to have people come join us at the Creamery, and everyone was wowed by the delicious food, and it was really ideal, and so we're very grateful.
Absolutely.
Yes, agreed. I think you both have said it all. So thank you to the Creamery.
Great. Thank you, Creamery.
Yes, thank you, Creamery. Hopefully you're watching us today. Okay, we will move on to our agenda. We have already discussed that item number 5 is postponed. So item number 6, discussion and consideration of an order in the matter of dissolving the Beaver Water District. And we have Rachel Haggerty, our Chief of Staff, with us remotely from the conference she's attending. So good morning, Rachel.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'd like to start off by saying this is not the intent of the county to dissolve the Beaver Water District. We've been notified by the Secretary of State that there's a statutory process that we have to follow, so that is what we're doing. We received a letter from the Secretary of State on August 18th informing the board that the district has failed for 3 consecutive years, and actually it's 4 years now as of last weekend, to file reports required by municipal audit law. The first step in the statutory process is that the board is to initiate dissolution proceedings under the provisions of ORS 198.335 to 198.365. I have done so by contacting the representative Lisa Harrison from the Beaver Water District to inform her that we received this letter and talk to her about the proceedings that we're required to follow, and begin working with her on trying to get an audit. That's basically what this comes down to, is they haven't filed an audit. And so she explained what she's been trying to do and what the struggles have been. And so myself and the Secretaries of State's office has been trying to help her remedy that. So the first step was initiating the proceedings. We've done that. The next step is to, the Beaver Water District was required to provide a financial statement. And this isn't a financial statement like you would think of piles of papers with a bunch of numbers in it. It is what you see as an exhibit to. So items 1 through 7 are defined in statute as what needs to be in this financial statement. I gave her a deadline of September 25th. She provided that to me, and I made a few edits just to work it into the form of our order. And then statutory process is complete. The next step is for you to consider and approve this order in the matter of dissolving the Beaver Water District, which calls for a public hearing following 3 consecutive weeks of public noticing in the Headlight Herald. So that is where we are. We're hoping over the next month that they will be able to at least secure the services of an auditor. Also in talking with the Secretary of State, the district may qualify for what's called a report in lieu of audit if they do not spend more than $150,000 a year, but they do. However, the state is considering providing that, which is a self-generated report that they would be able to show the Secretary of State and then show the public to check the box of being transparent about their financials. So it doesn't get them out of needing to have an audit, but it might buy them a little bit more time while they're working through that. So she's working through that with the Secretary of State's office. I spoke with Lisa this morning. She's still trying to get an auditor. And that is where we are. So I'm anticipating a lot of public comment at the public hearing, scheduled for November 1st, 10 a.m. at the board meeting. And hopefully they have some good news to report at that time.
Okay, thank
So the
you.
order,
Okay, thank you, Rachel, for the explanation. Questions and comments?
I'd like to thank you, Rachel, also for helping the Beaver Water District move through this process. It's got to be stressful and difficult for them, and speaking for myself, probably for the rest of the board, but I won't. Speaking for myself, I am very sympathetic. I think we have many water districts in Tillamook County, and a lot of them are struggling. They're struggling for lack of staff. They're struggling for lack of adequate finances. They're, it's a serious problem. We hear on a regular basis that the water districts can't get enough people to fill the spots on their boards. And so it's, I'm very sympathetic, and I really hope that they can accomplish the report and buy some time and get the audit and get this back on track, because it's such an important service, and a lot of people have devoted a lot of time and energy to the water in their community, and we honor their efforts and hope that we can help them moving forward to rectify this.
Thank you. Commissioner?
And I would concur with all of that. Our special districts in Tillamook County, of which we have many, they provide essential services, especially the water districts. I don't know how large the district serves here, but I know the community of Beaver, the unincorporated community of Beaver, and probably the surrounding areas utilize those services. It's not like they haven't been doing a lot of things. They've recently purchased additional property for a new reservoir, which is important. So yes, I think this, and so when we read the order, when we continue to read the order in the matter of dissolving the Beaver Water District, that is not our intent. I think the county is responsible for our special districts should something happen. And in this instance, I think the state is using the county and our reach to reach out to the Beaver Water District to make sure they understand the implications of not following through with what needs to be done. I can tell that what Rachel has said, that they've heard our plea and are actively looking for an auditor. So I'm sure by the November 1st meeting, we will have a path forward that hopefully will not include dissolution of the Beaver Water District. That is my hope, and I think that's going to happen. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you. And Rachel, is this the water district where we appointed a couple of members not long ago because they had fallen below quorum? Is that a different one?
I don't think so. The list of the members is actually in that was a
Okay.
requirement of the financial statement.
Right.
Oh, maybe it was. There's 4 in 2023
Yeah, I was
in
trying.
May.
Oh, Commissioner Bell says that was Cloverdale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you. So
Okay,
I bring that up because I think it's an important point, really to the same point that Commissioner Bell was making, which is that our small water districts do struggle, that it requires people to serve on the board. And so this is the second water district that we've had that's had some level of distress and requirement for the county to participate to get them out of that distress. And that is our role. So generally, we don't have an oversight role of water districts, generally, or special districts. And generally, we are not engaged in their business. That is their business to do. But when it comes to a point such as, it sounds like the Cloverdale district did a few months ago, where they had lost board members and didn't have a quorum and weren't able to replace their own board members, then we stepped in to do that work. They have a quorum, they're moving ahead. It sounds like in this situation, as you said, the state is using our ability sort of as a local support arm for this organization to help them get back on track. And I also look forward to them doing that. These water districts are crucial. And I think we have more than any other county in the state. I was doing a little research and looking at how water is provided. And in so many places, it's provided through a municipality. but we have so much unincorporated area, we have lots of small water districts. So again, I look forward to them getting back on track. It sounds like we will be hosting the 3 public hearings. I'm sure we will hear more from their community, and hopefully more folks will just become aware of the plight of small water districts and be willing to give of their time and talents to keep them afloat. So Rachel, thank you for all your work on it. And, oh, yes.
I just
Council.
wanted to say, in following up on what you've been talking about, at the hearing, if the county board finds that the district is in fact operating as an active district, or that there is a need for the district, then you can continue the hearing until they get their audits
Okay.
in there. I'm not trying to tip your hat one way or another, depending upon what testimony comes in, but, it seemed harsh, and Rachel kind of pointed me in this direction of what we're gonna, actually maybe have to, I'm not saying you wouldn't, but, it seemed kind of harsh to have to dissolve the water district, that appears to be a functioning district. So anyway, that's what you all will look at the hearing when the time comes.
Thank you, that's
So-
helpful.
To that point, Bill, are we required then today to move forward to approve a matter of dissolving the Beaver Water District? We have to do it today,
Yes.
just as a matter of,
There's a statutory
procedure.
timeline, isn't there, Rachel, that we'd have to comply with?
Yes, it says, so if the special district fails to file a report, the Secretary of State is gonna let us know. Within 30 days of receiving the notice, the board shall initiate proceedings, and then within 60 days of that notice is when I was supposed to have the financial statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've met those, and then, it says, within 21 to 30 days after filing the statement is when we have to have the public hearing. So there is no wiggle room, to shift this public hearing out of the statutory process beyond November 1st. After that, there's a little discretion in, like, I think Bill read the part of the statute that says that you can continue the hearing until reports are filed. So we have some more discretion, it appears in statute later on in the process, but right now, no, not until after November 1st is my interpretation.
Okay. Thank you for that. So, yeah, we would prefer to just give them more time, but it sounds like the statutory process to providing them more time is this first step and a hearing, after which time we can continue the hearing for more time.
so before we move forward on this, I'd just like to say to the public who may be interested that in approving this order in the matter of dissolving the Beaver Water District, I don't think any of us want to dissolve the Beaver Water District. I think we're forced into this procedure by the Secretary of State's office.
That's exactly right.
Thank you.
You're the club.
Right, right. And the order to support dissolving it, in fact, isn't dissolving it, it is the next step in a process to hopefully right the ship. So, yeah, thank you. I think that's good clarification for the public.
Ready for a motion?
I'm ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, in consideration of an order in the matter of dissolving the Beaver Water District as a process issue, I would move approval.
I second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I'm sorry, I do need to mention that this is board order number 23-065.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, motion amended. Do we need to amend the second? Okay, we're all good. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Again, I will ask if there is any further discussion. Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item number 7, discussion and consideration of amendment number 1 to a telehealth coverage services agreement with Insight Medical Group, PA, for telehealth services. Marlene Putman, Administrator, Health and Human Services. Good morning, Marlene.
Good morning. This is a short amendment and a fairly recent one. We entered into an agreement with Insight Medical Group, also known as Array by our team, to provide telehealth services through a licensed clinical social worker, and we're still in the process of recruiting for that. We've continued our discussions with Array, or I should say Insight Medical Group, aka Array, to identify staff to support our needs for a psychiatrist. It's really difficult to find one. We conferred and agreed we are going to try to secure a psychiatric nurse practitioner, specifically to address our adult, child, and adolescent issues, concerns raised by patients. So the modification on the one pager under the subsection new services, the second bullet, you will see minimum of 22 hours per week of adult, child, and adolescent psychiatric nurse practitioner coverage as the addition to the agreement, including clinician qualified to treat patients 5 years of age and older, and to expand the implementation fee of $2,000 that we originally paid to the group to cover this additional staff person. And that is the modification. This has been reviewed by our health counsel and by legal counsel. It's for you now to consider.
Thank you, Marlene. Questions or comments, Commissioner?
I think it's great. I know a lot of people would prefer to see a counselor or a mental health professional in person, but also it's working for a number of folks I've spoken to. It's working to do telehealth, and it makes the opportunity available, whereas otherwise people might have long wait times or have difficulty finding a provider. So I think it's one of the things that COVID did for us was show us how many things we could do successfully remotely. So I'm grateful that we're expanding the service.
Okay. Commissioner?
I agree with that, and this is one of the areas where Tillamook Lightwave comes into place. Telehealth is becoming a bigger and bigger issue, especially for rural counties. Without a lot of population, so we don't have a lot of doctors, especially specialists, things of that nature. So telehealth is becoming more and more important. But guess what? In order to utilize telehealth, we need high-speed internet. That's one of the many reasons that high-speed internet to the home, fiber to the home, is truly important. And that's something that Tillamook Lightwave has now been actively working on for the past 2 or 3 years. We've been successful bringing in $5 million to Tillamook County to start the process. But coming up, the federal government is going to be releasing $64 billion to the states. And Tillamook County share of that should be, the state of Oregon's share of that should be roughly $800 million. So that's going to go a long ways in making sure especially rural areas are covered with high-speed internet. And this telehealth, precision ag, school districts, things of that nature, that's why high-speed internet is really so important. So I just wanted to make that tie-in here. I'm in full support of this.
Perfect, thank you. So Marlene, just to clarify, so this is really in replacement for the psychiatrist that we did have briefly, that was very, very, very helpful. And part of that was prescribing, I think, of medications. Can this person then be that prescriber of those medications?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, because that was... Go ahead.
I was going to say, we're not giving up on trying to secure a psychiatrist and partnering with OHSU to bring someone local. It was just a unique and wonderful circumstance to have someone who was really excited about working in a rural area. He calls us frequently. Would love to come back. His family's where they are. So maybe in future telemedicine if we keep expanding our access, as Commissioner Yamamoto indicated. So yeah.
Okay, perfect, thank you. I know that was one of the key things for having a psychiatrist, in this case a psychiatric nurse practitioners. There are certain medications that have to be supervised by a psychiatrist or psychiatric nurse practitioner, and when we don't have one in the community, people who rely on those medications are forced to go elsewhere to get their treatment and their prescription. I mean, this is about day-to-day life for people, and this is really crucial. So obviously I am in full support. We are ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, in consideration of amendment number 1 to a telehealth coverage services agreement with Insight Medical Group PA for telehealth services, I would move approval.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, moving on to item number 8, discussion and consideration of a professional services agreement with Dental Care LLC to hire dental staff, provide oversight and training. Marlene Putman, Administrator, Health and Human Services.
Yes, this is an update to our agreement with the Dental Care LLC. It's not an amendment because the other one's expired, so we're starting another one.
There you go.
But
Replacement.
if you were to compare, which is what I do from year to year, okay, so is this an increase, a decrease? Where are the funds going? Are we still meeting our, productivity targets and meeting the needs of the community? So this agreement is, the total is $590,000. The 2022-23 was $590,892.
Oh, hey,
It's slightly less.
savings.
And in part, that is as we developed our, agreements and defined the roles of staff and developed processes and so forth, we've honed what we need to do. So we were pretty good at our first effort to get this budget put together. But this one continues from September 1, so it's retroactive, September 1 of 2023 through August 31st of 2024. The specifics about the expenses, in addition to, all of the other requirements around reporting and billing, are indicated in the agreement. Specifically, you'll see on, let me check here, make sure I have the right pages. Under salary and benefits and reimbursement, it's under section F, and I think it's page 14 on mine. We got the same one. Anyway, so the salaries you'll see for the contracted positions include our dental director. So we work with the Dental Care LLC for that, for a part-time dental director that's required for delivery of services in our dental clinic, and then some other contracted staff that are placed in our facility, from a dentist, hygienist, dental assistants. And then it includes some of their payroll cost benefits in this table as well. And those are based on monthly salaries, and I compared them to the previous year as well. So there's some fluctuation in those, but it's like a couple $1,000s here or there under each one of those categories. And last but not least is the kind of overall maximum for other types of trainings and services, which we adjusted as well by about $5,000, $6,000. The salaries, we did give an increase to some of the positions because we haven't increased them for, I think, 3 years now. So we did do some adjustments for the dentist and the hygienist and the dental assistants. So we will continue to see our ability to serve this population grow and hopefully retain some of these staff as we also look to expand to the number of people we can serve. So this is an amendment, as I indicated, the total and the term and the detail and the description, and it's also been reviewed by legal counsel and is before you.
All right, thank you, Marlene. Questions or comments?
I'll just say thank you, Marlene, for your work on this, and I am very grateful that we can provide dental health services to people in our community, so thank you.
I would absolutely concur with that. Dental health is really, people don't understand, dental health is so important to your overall physical health. It is. That's been proven time and time again, and unfortunately dental services oftentimes are overlooked, and people don't go to the dentist because of lack of dentists and offices in the area, especially small rural areas like ours. So Marlene, thank you so much for really putting these things together. Dental services are extremely important, and I am in full support here.
Perfect. No, and I agree. Dental services are critical, and this contract is really important to us because we are unable to reasonably hire dental staff in Tillamook County ourselves. And so this is a partnership where we are able to have a contractor that provides those high-skilled staff and oversees them with the dental director, pieces that just we're not able to do in-house as a hiring body and as a managing organization. So this is a highly technical field, dentistry, and it's one of those where we're able to provide these services because of the contract that we have with this company. So definitely am in support.
I have one more
Yeah,
thing to
please
say.
do.
I was at a meeting yesterday at Nestucca Valley High School, and we were talking about healthcare for students. And one of the teachers talked about the difference that he has personally observed in when a student needs dental care and gets it, the difference that it makes in their self-esteem, the difference it makes in their confidence and their engagement in school, that it can completely turn things around for them. So as Commissioner Yamamoto said, I think we underestimate what it means to have healthy teeth. It can impact every area of a person's life, including a young person's.
Yes, thank you. Totally true. Anyone who has had an abscessed tooth and just how absolutely impossible it is to think about or do anything else when you have that sort of pain. It's insane. So, okay, I think we're ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, in consideration of a professional services agreement with Dental Care LLC to hire dental staff, provide oversight and training, I would move approval.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All of those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, thank you, Marlene.
Thanks, Marlene.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 9, discussion and consideration of a multifamily rental housing loan agreement number 2023-MHF-7 with Seagulls Rest LLC for the Seagulls Rest project. And we have with us today Parker Sammons, our new housing coordinator with the Department of Community Development. Welcome, Parker.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. As you said, I'm Parker Sammons. I'm the new housing coordinator. And I'm here today to ask for your signature for this loan agreement. If you recall, this is for Seagulls Rest LLC, which is a project in Bay City that will provide 12 two-bedroom units at between 80 and 120% AMI. And I know that you have signed a couple of these loan agreements, and if I recall, in the past, many of them had subordination agreements which required you to sign before the loanee. In this case, we have no subordination agreement, which means that your signature will be final for this agreement. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Wonderful. Thank you, Parker. We appreciate that. I know that there was a request to have you introduce yourself just a little bit as well. Can I turn it back to you and just have you just do a quick introduction, a little bit more about yourself and how you came to be in this position, and then we'll move on with our formal work.
Absolutely. I would love to introduce myself a little further. My name is Parker Sammons, and I come from Portland, Oregon, to live here in Tillamook County. I came here specifically because I thought the county was doing excellent work with regards to housing, and I came here to learn from some very talented people about some of the successes and also show you guys what I can bring. In my personal career, I've done individual real estate investment. I've done various types of commercial real estate investment and opportunities. And most recently, I've spent the last 3 or 4 years trying to start a company specifically to help non-metro rural housing, the rural housing crisis in Oregon. So as we work together, you can expect to work with somebody who has the level of knowledge of a very high quality real estate agent, somebody who has done industrial warehouse property, and I have some board experience as well. But most importantly, I've spent the last 3 years of my life consumed with learning about non-metro housing needs in Oregon. So you can expect that I can bring a lot of thought and intent to the items that I bring to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Parker. Appreciate that.
You're so welcome.
All right, Commissioners back. You can ask Parker questions about himself if you want also, but also the contract they put in front of us.
I'm an open book.
Welcome to Tillamook County. Welcome to the Department of Community Development. I have already heard good things about you from folks in the community saying, oh, I met the new housing coordinator, he's great. So you've hit the ground running and made great impressions. So we look forward to working with you and seeing what you accomplish. So
It makes my heart sing to hear that.
good, glad to hear it. So I'm excited about this development in Bay City and eager to approve the law.
Perfect.
I concur with everything that Commissioner Bell has said. And Parker, I think you chose Tillamook County for a good reason. We have had, for a very small county, rural county, we have had some major successes in what we're doing. And I anticipate that you are going to take us to the next level when it comes to this. I think you realize that we just closed on a piece of property just on the east side of town here, and 36 acres?
46 acres. So
46
there's some
acres,
wetlands.
yes. And we just decided we needed to take that off the market. Hobby Farms were buying up this property, and this is truly some of the last easily built home sites in the metro area, especially of Tillamook. Housing needs are just so severe, but at this point doesn't have water and sewer. We're working with the city of Tillamook to make sure that that happens. There seems to be a lot of federal infrastructure dollars available to make this happen. Again, it's not the county's intention to be a developer, but we feel that once it's now off the market, once we get water and sewer to the area, we're going to have contractors and developers coming to us wanting to purchase portions of this land to build housing. And then we're kind of in control as to how we do that, which is perfect, and you're going to be involved in all of these issues. But again, the county, I feel, has been, over the past few years, has been very successful. We've had quite a few new developments. Another one just opening in Pacific City, and we've had them in North County and in the Tillamook area. It's amazing what you can do with the right amount of money, but especially the proper people in place. So Parker, we're looking forward to some great things from you. You've got a great background, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited about this job.
Excellent. Well, Parker, you and I have had a chance to meet, and delighted that you're with us and have hit the ground running, and there's so much we will do together for sure. So for this,
One more question. So how did it work for you finding housing?
I cashed out my entire life to make it work.
Wow.
Wow.
yeah, Parker is a proud homeowner, I believe,
Wow.
in Bay City.
I
So,
am, yes.
yes,
Good for you.
so
Yes,
yes,
thank you for investing. Thank you for investing in our community.
I'm adding an ADU in the spring.
cool. All right. So someone who's going to use all of the things we've put in place
There you go.
to help solve our housing crisis, and then we've got a pilot. We can, well, I don't know if you want us to have everybody traipse over to your house, but we'll let you share pictures.
I absolutely want you to traipse over to my house, and I can't wait to share all the exciting plans I have to help other people see the benefit of ADUs and multifamily housing being built here.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, because that's one, I hear about people like, okay, so the ADU ordinance went through, now what, right? And I think there's work that we'll look forward to doing with you. That's how we incentivize this for people. How do we make this something that comes to top of mind and seems doable? So that's exciting. Thank you.
Expect exciting things from me.
Yes, all right. Well, and just for a couple of other comments on this particular agreement, this is the final award from the first round of the multifamily rental housing grants that we did last year. And the process is open again right now. So if you are interested in being the next project or in this next round, those are open and available. There's an online application at the Community Development Department's website. You can also call and ask to talk to Parker, and he will walk you through the process if you would like some assistance in applying for one of these grants. But this is the last one from the first cycle. And I'm really excited about these duplexes in Bay City. One of the things that we have looked at and talked about is that the community culture is important, and having duplexes is much like having a neighborhood of homes, and I think our communities are more interested in embracing that at this point. Our multifamily units that are large apartment complexes sometimes don't fit as well into neighborhoods. So we're excited that this project of duplexes is going in. So just exciting times in Tillamook County. All right, I think we're ready for a motion.
I have one question. I find a note on the signature page. And
Oh.
it says, ask Bill.
Oh,
About Exhibit B, and I don't see an Exhibit B in here.
It's there, we're gonna mark it after you sign it.
Okay,
Debbie,
all
and this is Debbie's note? Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
I worked with Parker a lot to make sure we had all the right.
Perfect.
Parker primarily put it all together.
All right, perfect. Thank
We're
you,
gonna
Parker.
mark it after you sign it.
Yep, keep
Okay.
Bill in line, you know.
Yeah,
that's
Yes.
right. He's wobbling.
We are, you know, we are gonna work on these loan agreements a little bit more. As the board, I think this was it, we were really starting out with granting funds, and then it morphed into the developers wanting, you know, for, I think, tax reasons.
For tax reasons, a forgivable loan, when they receive a grant, it comes in as income, and it comes in as income all in 1 year for them.
Yeah.
And so that takes away some of the benefit that they're getting from it, because then they have to pay a tax on it. And because we are really focusing on both low income and workforce housing, what makes it work is, you know, putting as much money into these projects that doesn't have to be repaid and is not taxable, because that's what pushes the affordability window, so that it works, and so that a developer doesn't spend more money on building it than they'll ever receive in return on rent, right? So it becomes a challenging financial picture, and so the forgivable loan was one of the tools that developers really asked us for. We are considering going forward if it is the right tool for us as the county, and we will continue to work on that, because there are some other ways that it can be done in partner. If our developers are in partnership with a nonprofit, the nonprofit can receive the grant tax-free and pay for a portion of the project. So there's some pieces that we're looking at creatively to try to meet the needs of developers, because really the county doesn't develop property. We create an environment which is developer friendly, so property will be built. So we do have to listen to and pay attention to what will be a tool that will help developers. Because if we design it for us, but it doesn't work for them, we're not gonna achieve our goals either. So we're working closely with some other developers and other nonprofits and folks who have been in this game longer than we have, other funders, to see what tools we can use most successfully.
Yeah.
I'm also actively working with the finance committee to make sure that we get this more simplified and clarified, so that we have a simpler, more straightforward, streamlined process with these agreements in the future.
Perfect, thank you, Parker. We'll look forward to that.
It does complicate things on my end, you know, because we're dealing with banks.
Yeah.
You know, that the developer's getting most of their money from, and so Parker mentions the subordination agreements and notes and trustees.
Right.
It's just a lot more complicated process as well.
Yeah.
Just so anyway.
Yeah, it is, and what we talked about is the wheels of government turn slowly, right? And sometimes for the banks, that doesn't work. You know, you've got to close by a certain time frame, and if we're waiting for a commissioner meeting to sign, because we can't sign until they sign, and yeah, weird things that get complicated that we're just trying to help. So, yes, all right, I think
Ready for
we're ready
motion?
for a motion.
Okay. Madam Chair, in consideration of multifamily rental housing loan agreement number 2023-MHF-7 with Seagulls Rest LLC for the Seagulls Rest project, I would move approval.
I second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All of those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Parker.
Thank you,
Thank
Parker.
you.
And I have one other thing to say that I would be remiss if I did not, which is the multifamily rental housing fund dollars are generated through the short-term rental program. And this was a program that Director Absher from Community Development spent a long time working with our short-term rental operators to really have good conversation and have this be something we do with them. And so I always like to give credit, because I think our operators really agreed to do this in support of workforce housing and affordable housing. So thank you to all the short-term rental operators out there for providing this resource.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay. Item number 10, discussion and consideration of an order in the matter of the appointment and reappointment of members to the Three Rivers Ranch Road District Board of Directors. Isabel Gilda, Executive
Good morning,
Assistant.
Commissioners.
Good morning, Isabel.
You and staff have a board order before you for consideration. This morning, this order is appointing a new member and reappointing a current member. As you talked about earlier, the special districts, they have a very difficult time finding board members, and the Three Ranch Rivers Road District is no different. And
It's
so,
a very small district.
it's been a lot of hard work on the current members to replace and find new members, because the community of the three branch rivers is so small. For those who don't know, it's a special taxing district in South County, just off south of Hebo Ranger Station, just off the Three Rivers Highway. And today we have a vacancy. The vice president resigned, and so the new appointment is for Cole Breakin, I think Breakin, if I don't know if I mispronounce his name. He has been recommended by the directors on the board to be appointed to fill that vacancy. And the reappointment is for Ken Kelly. He's the current president of the board of directors. And his appointment ends at the end of this year, so we're doing both together. And so today we're asking for you to approve the appointment of Cole for the vice president and Ken Kelly for the current president.
Perfect. Thank you, Isabel. Questions?
Terrific. I'm glad. I'm grateful that Ken Cully is willing to be reappointed, and I'm grateful to Cole. I know Cole, but also I'm not certain about how to pronounce his last name. It might be Richine.
Rasheen, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm grateful that Cole is willing to be appointed and to be of service in that way.
Perfect. And this is another example of volunteers in Tillamook County. I always talk about this. Tillamook County cannot survive without its volunteers. These are not paid positions. Special districts such as this one, they don't get paid. These are volunteer positions that we cannot do without. And so, again, to all the volunteers out there in Tillamook County, thank you for what you do. Tillamook County can't survive without its volunteers. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
The
Yes.
purpose is the district maintains the local access roads in the county because the county does not provide the maintenance for those. So
Right.
that's where the taxing district comes in.
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting tool, and I don't think it's used very often throughout
It's
Tillamook County. I feel like there's only a couple of them when we've had these conversations, but it's where neighbors come together and say, we agree to be taxed to create a pool of money to fix the roads, and there is a participation of our public works at some level, typically to kind of get the roads started, I think, and then
Initially, yeah.
and then sometimes the county actually upfronts a certain amount of money in that situation. We just did this in South and further down in South County near Pacific City, and then the taxes pay back what money was upfronted. So it is ultimately at the cost of the property owner to do these road districts, but it is in partnership with the county. So as we have gone through the hard times that Commissioner Yamamoto has talked about related to timber and the loss of our federal timber funding, which used to pay for our roads. We've taken our road department from 50 employees 25 or 30 years ago down to the 24 or so I think we have today. We've gone from paving every flat surface that we would like to in Tillamook County to paving something closer to a mile or two a year, I believe. And we really have had to pull back on what we can simply afford to do for roads. So these road districts and road improvement districts are, the opportunity for property owners to come together and say, well, we want to do it and we will pay. So it's a very unusual and small number of these that exist.
And it's only in the unincorporated.
And only in the incorporated areas, yeah, there's only a couple. So again, these small districts, and again, we typically don't have much of a role unless and until they find themselves in a position that they don't have a quorum to do what they need to do, and then we step in and get them back to a functional state. So I am also thankful for those who are willing to serve. It is a thankless job. When you're telling, being a part of where the taxes happen, no one likes to be the face of that.
Yeah, and I think they're pretty dedicated to the community.
Yeah.
Keeping the district going, so.
Absolutely. All right. No, I think this is wonderful, and I think we're ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, in the matter of the appointment and reappointment of members to the Three Rivers Ranch Road District Board of Directors, this being Board Order number 23-066, I would move approval.
I second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Isabel. Okay, commissioners, do we have any board concerns today?
I just want to announce Congresswoman Bonamici's town hall this weekend on Saturday, October 7th at Tillamook Bay Community College at 3 p.m. upstairs in the main campus. There's a big meeting room upstairs, 214, 215. It's open to the public, and the Congresswoman invites everyone in our community to come meet her and talk about their concerns.
Perfect, thank you. Great opportunity, and I just encourage everyone, unfortunately, I'll be out of town, I won't be there, but I encourage everyone to go and meet the Congresswoman. She's just a wonderful, wonderful woman. We've had a chance to meet with her a couple of times here, and just appreciate her engagement already in the community. She, with the redistricting that occurred in the last year, she inherited our community, so she is new to our community. And with the buyout that we've been talking about for quite some time, she was first in. She jumped right in and said, that doesn't sound right, how can I help? So we just really appreciate Congresswoman Bonamici's, her just rapid adoption, if you will, of our community and our concerns, and her willingness to be here and to talk about them. So please do go meet the Congresswoman if you have not.
And that is important. I also will be out of town and not be able to attend Congresswoman Bonamici's town hall, but she jumped in with both feet when she got to Tillamook County, and we appreciate that so much. She's taken on so many issues. She understands so many issues such as broadband, our radio system, the buyout. She understands emergency management and how prone we are to having emergencies within Tillamook County. So I can't say enough about Congresswoman Bonamici and thanking her for everything that she does for Tillamook County.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, thank you. Any other board concerns for today? Nope, we're good? Okay, board announcements. I will go ahead. There are a long list today. So the commissioners will hold a board briefing on Wednesday, October 4th, 2023 at 2 p.m. to discuss weekly commissioner updates. The meeting will be held in the Board of Commissioners Meeting Room 106 in the Tillamook County Courthouse, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon. The teleconference number is 1-971-254-3149. Conference ID 736-023-979#. The Commissioners will hold an executive session on Thursday, October 12th at 10 a.m. pursuant to ORS 192.660 sub 2 sub I to conduct a performance evaluation. The executive session will be held in the Board of Commissioners Meeting Room 106 in the Tillamook County Courthouse, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon. The executive session is not open to the public. The Commissioners will hold a Commissioners Candidate Forum on Thursday, October 12, 2023 at 5 p.m. The meeting will be held in the PRI Building Rooms, 105/107, 4506 3rd Street, Tillamook, Oregon. The teleconference number is 971-254-3149. Conference ID 589-644-589#. The Commissioners will hold a Commissioners Candidate Interview on Monday, October 16, 2023 at 5 p.m. The meeting will be held at the Tillamook Bay Community College, rooms 214-215, 4301 3rd Street, Tillamook, Oregon. The teleconference number is 1-971-254-3149. Conference ID 589-644-589#. The Commissioners will hold an executive session on Thursday, October 17, 2023 at 11 a.m. pursuant to ORS 192.660 sub 2 sub I to conduct a performance evaluation. The executive session will be held in the Board of Commissioners Meeting Room 106 in the Tillamook County Courthouse, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon. The executive session is not open to the public. Oh, good. That would be enough. Lots going on. So if there is nothing else for the good of the order, we will adjourn this meeting at 9:53 a.m.